Tonight, the prison squad, investigating violent assault.
He's still got the knife in his hand right there.
You need to watch for groups of 2 or 3. Usually they're setting themselves up for an attack on somebody.
Weapons possession.
They all have a criminal mind. You know, and they've got 24 hours a day to beat us.
Drug trafficking.
There it is, black tar heroin.
Even murder.
This is the black hand of the Mexican mafia. This guy can authorize people to be killed.
All from behind the walls of one of the most violent prisons in America. It was designed as a modern-day Alcatraz. Isolated on the remote northern coast, Pelican Bay State Prison was established in 1989 to house all of California's worst criminals in a single facility. Innovative for its time, the creation of Pelican Bay established one of the most dangerous communities in the world. Pelican Bay's 3,000 maximum security residents have 24 hours a day to spend plotting more crime. Imagine a small city populated entirely by criminals, the most devious and dangerous minds in America.
The prison here really is a small city. It's a city populated by felons, and not only convicted felons, but really some of the most serious offenders that the state of California has to offer.
This intense concentration of California's worst has made Pelican Bay one of the world's most difficult communities to police.
Inmates don't stop committing crimes once they become inmates. Homicide, robbery, murder, all of the crimes that are committed on the street can also be committed within the prison.
A city unto itself, Pelican Bay has 800 correctional officers. 10 of them are assigned to an internal police unit called the Security Squad.
Our security squad would be very comparable to the detective unit or the homicide unit of your police force in your local community.
It was cleverly disguised, for sure. They made a few mistakes that make people look at it a little bit closer, and that's why they got caught. Okay?
To inmates and officers alike, they are known simply as the Squad.
It would kind of be like a comparison in the military to your regular infantry and your special forces.
Go, 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 go!
The security squad, they have a special mission. They all are there to fight the same war, but they have a special mission.
Known to his team as Hoss, Sergeant Dan Leffelholtz is the leader of Pelican Bay's security squad.
The security squad is actually a police department within the prison. We would respond to all incidents, collect and process evidence, take photographs, complete reports, investigate all crimes within the institution.
On an average of 900 times a year, the squad responds to an incident of violent crime. Officer Steve Robinson has been a member of this elite team for 4 years.
Somebody will yell out, alarm on 8 yard. The squad is an entire unit. You'll see us just busting through the door. A couple of people grab camera bags because if there is a crime that's happening out there, such as another inmate stabbing an inmate, we're going to make sure after that situation is brought under control that we'll go in and we'll process the crime scene, gathering blood samples and interviewing people. The same things that police officers do out on the streets.
Whenever we go out on alarm, we grab a crash bag. It has numerous different things that we use to collect evidence. Cards that we write the type of incidents, the subject, distilled water and swabs for collecting blood, evidence bags that you put clothing, weapons, to keep the chain of evidence and the chain of custody to make sure all of our stuff is good when it goes to court.
Often the crime is captured on one of the squad's high-tech surveillance cameras.
And head out to the yard. Usually somebody will stay in here and try to get the camera on the incident before they go, and as soon as they get it on the incident, they'll zoom in.
With a violent crime rate that rivals any large city, Pelican Bay's security squad patrols one of the most active and dangerous police beats anywhere.
We're dealing with bad people. Some of them that really don't have anything to lose. They're doing life without anyway.
Inmates exiled to Pelican Bay have proven to be a danger not just to society, but to the prison system itself.
These inmates actually are guilty of committing felony crimes throughout the prison system.
Life inside California penitentiaries is dominated by violent prison gangs.
They pretty much try to coordinate what happens throughout the prison system.
In order to combat these powerful prison gangs, the California Department of Corrections decided to isolate all of the gang leaders in one location, Pelican Bay, isolating them from the rest of the California penal system. Lieutenant Robert Marquez is the squad's institutional gang investigator.
Pelican Bay was specifically designed to house inmates that have been validated as prison gang members and associates, and those who were unable to function or program out on the general population yards of the rest of the prisons in the state of California. The Aryan Brotherhood, the Nazi lowriders, the Mexican Mafia, the Nuestra Familia, the Northern Structure or Nuestra Raza, the Texas Syndicate, the Black Guerrilla Family, and into Atchme now, with the idea of isolating them and getting them away from the general population.
Escorts going around.
The inmates call it the Hole. This is the security housing unit at Pelican Bay, or the SHU. Here, security is even tighter than in the rest of the prison. Every time a prisoner is taken out of his cell, he must be escorted by 2 correctional officers. Some 1,300 inmates have been confined to the SHU for either committing a crime in prison or being validated as a member of a prison gang.
In our security housing unit, we have 400 plus validated gang members.
The department has a very defined set of criteria that we look at and that we use in order to validate somebody as an associate or an affiliate or a member of a prison gang. For instance, all of the prison gangs have a specific tattoo. The Mexican Mafia has the black hand or the word EME or EME. The NF has the letters NF or a sombrero with a knife with blood dripping through it.
In the SHU, inmates spend 22.5 hours a day in their cells. All movement and communication is strictly monitored and controlled. Though not officially validated as gang members, many of the mainline or general population inmates serve as the foot soldiers of the gang leadership in the SHU.
The inmates that are on the yards are in one way or another related to those gangsters.
Outside we have what we call disruptive groups, like the Crips or the Bloods, street gangs, or groups such as the Sureños, which fall under the direction of the Mexican Mafia. Also in that category you'd have like Skinheads and Peckerwoods, which are white gangs, which would take their direction from the Nazi lowriders and the Aryan Brotherhood.
Despite the isolation of gang leadership in the SHU, the gangs do everything they can to stay in business.
We've put these guys here and they found ways to communicate outside of these units.
In spite of all the efforts to break them up, the gangs still find ways to stay organized.
They set up what's called a mesa, or a table of individuals that are responsible for the yards here. That mesa or table will communicate with the Mafia members back in SHU.
One of the biggest dangers within the prison walls is the inmates' ability to manufacture and carry weapons.
Your white gangs and your Hispanic gangs, they prefer the metal. If they can get their hands on metal, they're going to use metal. We know they like thick metal. The plastic weapons are made by our black inmates. They use what they have in their cell. The slicers and the razor blades are northern Hispanic inmates. They love those little things because they can conceal them so easily. And these guys, they're pretty calculating in what they do out there. They're pretty organized.